What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Friday, TGIF. Hopefully your Friday's off to a good start, and we'll cruise right into the weekend. Have yourself some fun. We are here for our the new segment that I'm going to try to do every single day, or at least close to it, and that is the DFS 5-packs tip of the day. If you haven't caught the first couple of them, it's supposed to be short, sweet, and to the point. Just go over one little tidbit of DFS, and hopefully the videos will pile up and they'll instill some knowledge or at least some thought for people to go into and try to up their DFS game. If you are new to the station, guys, a million ways to support the show. Press that red button that says subscribe if you're brand new. The thumbs up is always appreciated. If you want the full breakdown of the daily fantasy sports picks that we do and go through the whole slate, go sign up to be a member. And if you feel like just being generous and buying us a cup of coffee or a glass of scotch every month, you can do a small dollar donation via patreon.com. All that below in the description section. So today's tip. Now, I know there's a bunch of you that probably play this game and aren't really into the NBA as a whole, or, you know, come baseball time, aren't into baseball, just enjoy the betting aspect of it. I get that, man. I like the rush that goes with it. I understand. I'm totally with you. I like playing blackjack, poker, any of that stuff. So I think we all kind of have that in common, that we get the rush. Now, for me, I love sports, period, point blank. So I'll watch this stuff with or without DFS. But for a lot of you, maybe you like the rush and you're still trying to learn a little bit about NBA. So you probably hear the term usage rate a lot. And if this is still a term that's a little bit unfamiliar to you, it's more complex to actually understand it in full, but the common sense portion of it is it's really, really self-explanatory. So if you look down there, usage rate is defined, or is also commonly referred to as usage percentage, is defined as an estimate of the percentage of team plays used by a player while he is on the floor. In layman's terms, it is a number of plays used by a specific player. So you think about a guy like a Russell Westbrook or a James Harden, their usage rate is absolutely insane or through the roof. Now, like, think about Russell Westbrook's teammate, like Terrence Ferguson, for example. Ferguson can play 38 minutes in a game, but he's really only out there to play defense and shoot the occasional three. So his usage rate is going to be minuscule by comparison. Why? He's just not nearly as good as Russell Westbrook. So in the NBA, you got one ball, you got 5 guys on your team. And that's why I think a lot of times when people are newer to NBA DFS and they see a guy starting for somebody else in a fill-in situation and they don't necessarily know how it's going to affect his game. There are players who will fill in and just not see the ball a ton. And I'm thinking about Seth Curry last night for the Portland Trailblazers. Now, the game was a little bit weird. Lillard was balling, Nurkic was balling. And a lot of times you feel like Seth Curry stepping in for CJ McCollum, he should be a lock to offer you 20, 25 points in that role. However, the problem is he just doesn't have the ball in his hand that much because they kind of keep it with Lillard and Aminu and Nurkic and things like that. So while he's out there for a lot of minutes, his usage rate is still going to be minuscule. In like the most simplistic form, just think of it as how often is this player getting used. Some players, think about PJ Tucker from the Houston Rockets. He plays a lot of minutes, but his usage rate is tiny. He basically sits on the sideline or close to it and shoots the corner three. He's not breaking anybody down off the dribble. Just not going to do that. And if you want to think about this from like a real life perspective, imagine like you're playing basketball with your buddies. And, you know, I'm thinking about my buddy Klarner, who back in high school, he carried all of our intramural teams. He had the ball in his hand every single play. Why? Because he was the best. Now, if I come in off the bench for him, I'm not taking over his role because I suck. So my usage rate is going to be significantly lower than his. So like CJ McCollum last night, his usage rate will be significantly higher than Seth Curry because they run plays for him. They want him shooting. They want the ball in his hand. You know, he's almost a borderline all-star, while Seth Curry he's just not his brother. So it's more complex if you really look into it. But for most people that just need to understand it in the most simplistic form, it's just how many times are you going to be used while you're out on the floor? You can't score points without the ball in your hand, without shooting, without getting the ability to have an assist or things like that. Then you can just only really hope for steals and rebounds. So that's today, guys. Thanks for watching. Have yourself an awesome one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and the regular scheduled DFS video will be out shortly.